A round of applause for LeBron James, I suppose. You know, he does deserve that award. He got an award for, I think it was like breakthrough performance or like best in-season performance or something like that.
He's a great player. I mean, he's up there.
Yeah, because he broke Kareem's record for 38,000 points, which is a tremendous feat. Like, congratulations for LeBron. I always like to lead with the love before I lead with the hate because I'm too much of a hater sometimes. So I'm a hater.
And to let the Bronsexuals down gently.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Because I'm about to hate on LeBron right now. This nigga. So they had Savannah James, his wife, come up on stage and give him the award, which is a great moment. He had his kids there and everything like that. But they made her bring him up on stage by calling him the GOAT. And this nigga took the opportunity to take this award and not do it humbly, but to make it like a situation where he's talking about his retirement. And eventually he says like, oh, I still got more in the tank. I'm not retiring this year. Lucky for y'all. My biggest thing with LeBron James, I hate him for a lot of different reasons, but I respect him. But one of the reasons why I hate him so much is because it seems like every single opportunity he gets to kind of like steal the show and make it really about him. We already know you're the greatest, bro. We already know you're the greatest. I mean, hold on, because everybody, you can have your Jordan argument and everything like that. You know, that's up to debate. But he is the greatest. Like, just speaking
in the game currently, yeah.
He is the greatest, or at least 1A or 1B or whatever you would say. But my biggest thing with LeBron is that it seems like every single moment he gets, it's just like to make sure. It's almost like he's so insecure. He always wants to make sure that people are like, hey, you guys know, by the way, I'm the GOAT, right? Any situation he gets, especially recently, he's just like making sure that he's self-proclaiming himself as the GOAT. Never seen anybody who is the theoretical GOAT do that. So are you the GOAT? If you have to remind everybody you're the GOAT.
If you have to remind people, I don't think you're the GOAT. And listen, he's in the top. He's in that realm. You know,
yeah.
If it's just a hand and every finger is like a legend,
right?
He's in the collective.
Yes,
right.
Nobody would disagree with that.
You can't argue that.
Not at all.
If there's just a top 5 and it's fixed as of now.
Top 2. I mean, that's up to debate. But go ahead.
He's definitely in the top 3. You can argue where he is in the top 3, but he's in the top 3.
Right,
and the other 2 is Kobe. I think Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah. And nobody
even Steph is in the. I think Steph is number 5. Honestly,
like the fact that we have to like rank everybody and stuff like that, like that sucks because they're all great, amazing players, legends. So I'm not gonna like go on my top 10 ranking. I'm not gonna give my top 10 ranking or anything like that right now. That's not what I'm talking about. But like everybody already knows, LeBron James is gonna go down in history as one of the best, not just one of the best NBA players, but one of the best athletes of all time. He's done so many amazing things.
I think his issue maybe is that he knows he's getting older and he hasn't solidified that he is the very best.
You took the words right out of my
mouth. That ever was, like a Pokemon, like best no one ever was.
Like how they do with Jordan, where it's just flat out, there is no argument. You ask anybody on the street, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say Jordan is the best player of all time. He doesn't have that. And so his way of going about it is to create these scenarios we all know about when he went up to Miami and he had the ESPY. I still remember that because I watched that shit. He made a huge deal out of the fact that he was leaving the Cleveland. To my knowledge, that's the only player that has ever had a fucking sit-down interview. It's probably like 30 minutes where he sat down and had an interview about where he was taking his talents next. Mm-hmm. He gets these situations where he wants to glorify himself. But if we already know, that's why I called him insecure, because bro, you don't have to say you're the GOAT. He does it every single season. After we won the championship, I say we because I'm a Laker fan. After we won the championship in 2020, during the bubble, the COVID bubble, this guy got on his own show and said, that one right there, speaking about the championship, that one made me the greatest of all time. That one made me the greatest of all time. Kobe Bryant would never say this type of stuff. Like the GOATs that other people say are the GOATs would never. Jordan has never said this.
Because I think they know the performance that speaks for itself. There's no reason to say it
at all. Yeah. And you were talking about earlier before we got on that like this isn't just with NBA. Like this transcends into like any aspect, any industry. Steven Spielberg, you were talking about Mike Tyson, you can get that point off, but like Steven Spielberg will never say, who's like, I mean, if you guys don't think he's the greatest director of all time, I don't know what to tell you, but you're just not speaking facts. You're just lying to yourself. But you'll never see Steven Spielberg or Michael Jackson come up and be like, yeah, I'm the greatest of all time. What can I tell you? And say it every single year.
The people have decided that. I think that's the key difference is You can even stat wise, he could be the GOAT.
Right.
But he's not the people's champion. I feel like that's probably what that's maybe what the issue is.
Yeah. You know? That's where my bone is.
And how many people when they take a shot, do you hear people say LeBron? Like
I've heard that argument before too.
Like I've heard it. I've heard it before. But you hear Kobe. We're gonna just keep it a buck.
Or like, when you see somebody do something great and spectacular on the court, you say, "Oh, damn, that
he's
looks
the
like
Jordan of this."
Yeah,
that's the Jordan of this.
Yeah,
space.
or that. Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
right. Like,
yeah, when you talk about different things, like, oh, he's the Jordan of this activity.
Right. That's probably why when it comes to that GOAT conversation, LeBron probably will never get that unanimous people's champion vote, like you were saying, because everybody that maybe when like the old niggas die off, people might say LeBron is the GOAT. But when it comes to just like when people think of the sport of the NBA, when people think of in just like athletes in general, when you think of like the pinnacle of greatness, it's just Jordan. And it was like such a different time back then where like you're transcending a sport. The same way we kind of see Steph transcending the sport a little bit. Michael Jordan took that shit to a global rank. Mm-hmm. So you'll never see that again. Like it's upsetting. It's probably upsetting for LeBron because there's nothing he can really accomplish. I mean, he literally just he has the record for the most points of all time, and all these other records.
Like, on paper, he's number one in a lot of aspects.
And still to this day, I don't think you're going to see many people say
the rings. People are like, "What the rings though?" But
that's a good argument.
The finals record though, it's not looking good.
Yeah,
it's like,
he has a lot. He has a lot.
Who has a finals record that extensive? I don't care if it's all L's. Mm-hmm. Most people are not getting to the finals at that level, but people don't care.
10 times.
It's like, did you do it or you didn't do it?
Right.
I don't care how many times you went to the finals.
Yeah.
Some people say it looks worse because, like, he got to the finals.
That's what I think. I think so.
Yeah. It looks worse. Like, dude, but you didn't deliver in the last moment. So it doesn't mean shit.
Which is unfortunate, but like it's gonna take. It probably would take him to win a couple more chips before he would probably have to get to the number Jordan is at in order for people to be like, all right, nigga.
Because he's matched the rings and he's surpassed in other aspects.
Right,
so
right.
Yeah, but I still think even if he did that, people would just have such an attachment to Jordan. It would change.
It's really that attachment. Yeah. I think that when our generation is like 50 and 60-year-olds, and we've had like a couple more generations come after us, where they're probably not going back. People already don't go back to watch like old highlights from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. But when we start having kids and they start having kids and they're just watching LeBron James highlights and stuff like that, they'll probably be like, well, statistically, this guy is the best, so he must be the greatest of all time. That might be a thing. But then again, like people saw Wilt Chamberlain play, and that nigga has all the fucking stats. This nigga scored 100 points in the game.
You never hear him in the conversation.
Nah, people don't really put him on the top 10 like that.
Because he's old. And I think people take it away from him because it was like he was in a completely different game where it's like it's almost like he was born early. So he just dominated.
But people say that Bill Russell, who played at the same exact time, he played against Wilt Chamberlain. You've heard of Bill Russell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, people say Bill Russell is on the top 10 or top. Some people put him top 5. Some people put him number 1. And he played during the same time. What it is with Wilt is that he didn't win championships. So that championship, I think it only has like 1 championship or like 2 championships. That championship argument is really, because you got to win, bro. Like this is a sport, you got to win. That's really what holds. Like if you can't say that I got these rings, like when Tom Brady be holding up like the 6 rings and stuff, like and Kobe be holding up the 5 and stuff. If you can't say you got rings, then
it don't mean anything. Like, I've seen so many shows about this. Like you could be amazing. You could be the greatest that ever walked the earth. But if you're not winning tournaments, you're not winning contests, it don't mean shit.
Right. Yeah.